All right, today we're going to be covering how you can determine what type of airless sprayer and what size, model, and design you may need for your painting work. So as a contractor, whether you're making your first sprayer investment or looking to just upgrade to a different sprayer because you have new work on your horizon, we want to cover some of the options you have, and even if you're a homeowner, just to show you some of the differences in sprayers, the types that are available, what you need to consider before you make a purchase so that you know your sprayer will run properly and perform well. Critical things to consider when you're choosing a sprayer is where you'll be doing your work. So you basically have three ways to drive a sprayer. One's air powered, like you see here. This is going to offer some of the largest pressures in gallons per minute of any sprayer. That's just simply because of the way it's designed. So you can go up to a 6 or 7 GPM pump with a pump like this, gallons per minute, meaning you could support multiple painters. You could use something like this to be painting bridges and similar work. Then you go down to a small hobbyist or weekend warrior unit like this one here. These are available at your Home Depot or your Lowe's. We offer them as well. They're going to be designed with a different kind of design to not handle a high volume of work. The packing set isn't very sturdy and there's a little bit of a less serious design. And then you could even look at something like these here, which is more of a contractor grade electric airless. That's a Graco 390 sprayer. This packing set's a little more substantial than your hobbyist unit. It has true balls and seats and is designed to be used more heavily and stand up to the work. So you have an electric, you have air powered, and then you get into gas powered units as well. We don't have one here for you to look at, but you have direct drive and hydraulically operated gas units. Direct drive units are going to give a little bit lower pressure. Hydraulic units allow for higher pressure potential, and then they also offer the ability to spray a little bit of thicker materials relative to a gas only unit because of the fact that the hydraulic unit is being able to pick up those thick materials well. They'll have a direct immersion ability. A direct immersion is when the pump is directly submitted into the material and it will allow you to spray the thicker coatings. So to kind of go over the basics of what you may consider prior to deciding on the sprayers where you're working. So inside new construction or existing construction with electrical supply, electrical airless like these here, a Graco 390 or a higher 695 unit would be an option. For situations where you don't have electric but you can use a gas unit, then you can look at regular gas or hydraulically operated gas units. That'll be driven to a large extent by your material. For roof coatings and thick paints, you'd want to typically be looking for a hydraulic type airless unit versus standard materials that you may spray on homes, new construction, exteriors. Those are going to be a general gas unit. Air-powered units like this are a great option if you need real high delivery volumes that you can't get in a hydraulic unit or a gas unit, or you have a compressor on site and you just prefer to work with air-powered, or you're in a facility or a manufacturing plant and you need a sprayer, then you have compressed air, then this allows you to use that. And obviously working indoors, you want this. You typically don't want to use gas, you want electric or you want air, so that you're not running a motor inside of an enclosure. So as far as going through the nitty-gritty of individual units, we'll kind of cover what we would suggest, what you would want to do. First, you want to know the material you're spraying. So while about anything can be sprayed, obviously different units are designed for different purposes. So you have texture sprayers. Graco makes the Mark 4 or 5, which spray both paints and textures. Titan offers units similar to that. And then you have texture only units, and then you have units that are really designed for mostly just paints. Texture sprayers themselves, if you're looking at a texture sprayer, the main difference there is the way the piston is designed. So as you see on any sprayer, there's going to be a pickup section where material is drawn in. On a texture sprayer, the ball and seat and piston come all the way down through that pickup section, allowing for better draw of material. Texture, and this is a picture of a Graco texture sprayer's fluid section. This is the whole pickup tube. The difference here between this and a unit like this, your pickup ball and seat will start here. There won't be a piston throughout the whole entire pickup section. So if you're using texture only, you would want to look at a unit that's specific for only textures. If you need to spray paint and texture, most texture units will allow you to spray both. The Mark IV series are electric and they'll allow you to spray both, but the texture sprayers can accommodate paint as well. The other main difference in a texture only or a texture paint unit would be that the fluid section's a lot more open to allow that texture to be drawn through the unit. So if you're spraying textures, just think you can look at a texture sprayer unit only that'll allow you to spray both textures and paints. The Mark IV and Vs are electrics, and then there's gas-powered ones as well, the Tech Spray series. There's also texture-only units that use a hopper or similar type design. Those will not spray paints. So that would be something to consider. If you want to spray both, you need a unit that's going to allow you to do both. And we'll show you some of those here in a moment. If you're spraying paint, the thing you want to make sure you check is the technical data sheet. So any texture, any paint will have a technical data sheet. This is an Acrylon product from Sherwin-Williams, and you need to know the pressure that they suggest and the tip size. So 13 to 17 thousandths and 2800 psi. In general, electric sprayers are only going to go up to 3300 psi. So if you notice that that's higher than that for your particular paint, you're probably going to need to consider a different type of sprayer, whether it be a gas or air-powered airless. The other thing is the tip size, so 17 thousandths. So any sprayer that you're considering will have a spec sheet to show you how many GPMs that it will maximum deliver, and then also a maximum tip size. So this is a 21 thousandths tip. This is the 390 PC Graco unit. So if you were trying to spray only Acrylon and that was your primary product, the 390 would meet the need from the standpoint of having enough pump to deliver the volume for the tip and to deliver the pressure you need. Now if you were to need a bigger tip, you need to consider units that are going to support that. The other aspect to consider is if you want two painters or more, a lot of the electrics as you get up above the 695 series level will offer multiple painters as an option. They'll give you a two tip maximum size recommendation, and you don't want to go above that. If you go above the maximum recommendation, the pump will wear prematurely and it'll just run too hard, won't perform well. So we'll go ahead and show you a couple of the other series here with the texture only units, so you know what those look like and you can distinguish them from those that spray both texture or paint. So for texture only, you'd be looking at a unit like this, but otherwise if it looks like a pump, it would be able to use both paint or texture to be able to spray. So to kind of recap what we've covered, you have three types: gas, electric, and air-powered airless. You have hydraulic and direct drive gas. For the majority of interior works and even some exteriors and electrics, an electric airless will be most common. You want to make sure your pump is able to supply enough GPMs or gallons per minute to support your tips. So you want to check the specs on a pump that you're considering to make sure it matches the tip need or delivers enough GPMs to support the tip that you need for the paint. So you check your tech sheet for your paint, check the pressure that your paint needs, and check the tip size. If you find the pump that meets that need and can match the requirement, then it's great. As a general rule, for latex and standard paints, your standard electric series will work perfectly. If you're getting into thicker coatings, lighter elastomerics can sometimes be sprayed with electric, but often you may be looking at a gas unit. And then for other materials that are thicker, like zincs and epoxies, you typically need more pressure or larger tips, which means you're going to need either a very large electric or you're going to start bumping into an air-powered unit or a gas-powered unit. These are some of the general rules, but they're going to give you a great starting point. Stains and similar materials like that will spray out of a small airless, the Graco 395 or Titan 440 Impact. So if you have questions on what kind of sprayer may be best for what you're doing in the particular paints you're trying to spray, you can leave it in the comments below. But this should give you a lot of insight and knowledge so that you can best decide which sprayer may work for your particular project. Thanks for watching.